What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Thursday Night Airbrush Down and Dirty Tricks of the Pumpkin Reaper Part 2. I think we got sound working, I think we got lights working, we got airbrushes, we got paint. Audio, we are recording, we are on the air. Let's hope everything loud sounds looks good. Let me see what everyone's saying here. We got 12 people sitting here right now. I want to thank everyone for popping in and checking it out. I did finally fix my super chat issue, so that's there for those who want it. And what else we got going on here? Good. Sound good, everyone? I did hit record. Thank you, sir. I did. Hopefully we don't run out of room on the hard drive, but I think it will be fine. And what I was able to do this week, let me bring this up here, is for the first time, this is now available, the Pumpkin King Reaper Scarecrow set. So what I've done is I've made this vector available. The link's in the description, or you just go to MckayFineArt.com. It's all there. And let me show you what we got here. So that vector set, this vector set here includes all 4 Reapers, and there's some other tweaked variants between them as well. And you can mix and match. Like, you could put the pumpkin, the hand of the pumpkin, in the other Pumpkin King one. You could slide that over. You could mix it with a Scarecrow. You can mix and match a lot of this stuff together with a little tweaking in Illustrator or your favorite program. So this vector set will have this one here that I'm working on tonight. A few of you guys have already downloaded, which is great. It'll include this one here with all the reference images, and it'll include this Scarecrow one here. So these are up. Everyone's been asking for them for a while. They are finally up and available at MckayFineArt.com. And that is about the only advertising I am going to do, other than thanking our wonderful sponsors here who help support the channel. Fisheye Filter being one of the big ones. And then, of course, using Iwata, Createx, FPS, my Visionaire system. All these guys take care of me. And someone's saying the video has no sound on Facebook. Hopefully that's clear now. If not, I don't know why. If you guys aren't here on Facebook, go back a post, get over to YouTube, come on to YouTube and see it on there, because like always, Facebook is a pain and it's not working like it should, because the sound is on YouTube and it's the same exact feed over to Facebook. So if there's no sound on Facebook, let me know and come over to YouTube where the feed is stable. Let me know. Thank you very much. I'm going to put this down here. And before I get started, let me know if anyone's got any questions, concerns, still no sound. Yeah, it's Facebook, so like per usual, because Facebook's horrible, I'm just going to shut off the Facebook. Excuse me, guys. Hold through this intermission. Unless I can fix it. Settings, stream. And live feed by Facebook. Oh, that's one less thing I have to worry about, because Facebook per usual sucks. Sorry about that. All right. Back over here. Touchscreen off, and back at you. All right, before we get started here, hope everyone's had a good couple weeks. Sorry I couldn't get to it last week. I was finishing that blade bagger with all the skulls and the kind of tribal graphic, blade graphic style. That just left today. If you didn't see the pictures, that's on Facebook. So that was done, and I was working till probably 11 o'clock that Thursday night, and then the next day till about 6, getting it done and over to AudioWorks for Clear. So that was a mission, and so now we're back at it this week. Been a busy week this week as well. We did that Corvette. I did some lettering today. I got lettering tomorrow. Then off to SEMA on Monday. So it has been crazy. So let's see here. I got Black Cat Airbrush and drink of the night. Yes, we do have a little drink. Tonight is Whistle Pig. which is lovely. Lovely, lovely. Thanks for all the helpful vids. Appreciate it. Thank you for enjoying them and supporting them and keeping them going. We've got 25 people in here tonight. Yeah, it was a fun bagger to do. Sounds looks good. Thank you. Good, good, good. All right, let's go over to this one here. And let's go to the multi-source so you can see me everything. Okay, so this is what we got going. So this is where we left off last week. And I had done a mix of the opaque lime green, some yellow. I used a little candy brown. And that was pretty much it. I used this kind of tan color. And I kind of got to this point. And what I did in the interim... hey, Michael, how you doing? Because it was sitting all week, and I didn't want to contaminate anything, I gave it a quick coat of 40-30 just to kind of lock everything down. And because the 40-50 is mixed in the candy, it'll actually act as a little bit of a candy bleed. And I could have done a full inner coat on it. I just didn't have time, and it wasn't really necessary. I just want to give it a little barrier so it's a little cleaner. And also, sometimes by doing that 40-30 or a 40-50 overlay, you can give the canvas a little bit of texture for freehanding, which is always nice. So, let's see what I have here. Okay, so this is the green. So this is that same green, and I'm not doing much with it now. I'm going to use most of it later, but I just want to see if it's spraying good. I'm going to put it kind of on the upper edges of the knuckles, like the fire's kind of glowing it. Like I said, I'm going to do a lot more at the end, but it's not going to hurt to add some in now. And this is that same opaque lime green. Just we can put that like up on here. But again, that's not really necessary because I'm going to do a lot of black here. So that's good. That's good. What we can do is, like last week's, or the video part 1, I did cutouts of the basics. Because I'm going to have like fire coming over this. But again, that's going to be after I do all the cloak work and stuff like that. So I'm going to work on the cloak and the mask and the detail, and then we bring the fire in at the end. Because this is kind of that midpoint section of everything. So here we go. Okay, so the color I'm doing right now, this is the Grabber Orange. So Grabber Orange, I'm going to do a little bit of work in here for toning the face. I'm going to do a little bit on the hands, but I'm going to use mostly like a dark green I made up, which is a Verdian green mixed with black, because I want that kind of green, pumpkin-y kind of look going on. Kind of like when you look at the reference picture here. So you can kind of see that face, which will be cool. Let me see if I can find the... I'm going to bring in the reference image. Give me 1 second. I don't have my helper tonight because someone has homework. But it's okay. Homework is important. Homework is important. So if you look at the reference image there, you can see it's got a lot of orange and like kind of root beer work, but it's also got some green. And so I'm going to start with that. I'm going to do my best to read the text as I go through. And I'll see what I can do there. So again, I'm just toning some of this orange. And the nice thing is, this isn't super... I wonder if I can see which camera is going to be better for you guys. I think that one will probably be better. We'll zoom in a little on the face. How's that? Is that better? What's up, Jimmy Z? Yeah. Okay, so right now I'm using the tangerine candy. And I'm just going to tone this guy and like basically accentuate the wrinkles. And if you hear that ass hat barking, that is my dog Max. That is a mini schnauzer. He loves to bark. He's a good dog, but he's a mini schnauzer, loves to bark. Willow, the big dog, is the quiet one. So basically, if you remember back to first one, by part one, I toned the highlighting in here with just soft pillow strokes and just really loose, not tight. And setting that up here so I can do minimal freehand and get the effect I want. Because I used that yellow and did some of the texture, now I can just go in and kind of refine things. And this is, someone's asking me like what I like to paint. And I always have a hard time answering that. I like to paint a lot of stuff, but it's not what I paint, it's at what point do I enjoy the painting. I do a lot of technical work, I do a lot of plotting and prep, and a lot of that is just, it's a system I enjoy doing, and it works well for teaching. A lot of times I just like freehand and stuff, but for lessons it's a little harder to teach that way. Unless I'm just doing like a freestyle lesson. Mr. Leahy. Oh, and I think you were the first one to say dirty trickster, so I'm informing you now that I'm stealing that term. Thank you very much for that. Because I'm setting up the community page on this, and I'm going to set up a membership. That's going to be just a cheap membership, so you can do personal comments, you can do some stuff like that. It's going to give you discounts off anything automatically as a member, so I am really setting that up, and it's going to be the Dirty Tricksters membership to start. So thanks, Steve. So, but yeah, now I can start setting this up and start carving detail in with the orange, then work up to the brown and green. Because I already got some of that tone established, so see how fast it starts to come together. And because I can go from orange to green here, and I can go from orange to brown here, I can utilize all the same toning in almost all this and just add bits and build on that texture. A big thing I learned from automotive painting, custom painting and muraling, especially when I took classes from Craig Fraser and kind of learned that style of automotive of painting with candies and whites and tones and then going in with detail, was you learn this kind of process to do that. 5% payable to the First National Bank of Steve. All right, we'll talk. London Paint Company, how's it going? So while everyone's here, I will apologize for everyone, especially London and Gary, for waiting for panels that are sitting in fresh, clear, and beautiful, but haven't been fully buffed and ready to ship out yet because I've been ridiculously crazy and slacking, and I do apologize. I'm going to find some little goodies to add in for all you guys who support me and are patient with my slow ass. That bagger was the last bike I had on the schedule. I have no bikes in the future. I mean, there's going to be some coming in the fall, but we're here in New England. This is like the last couple weeks of riding if if you can handle some cold, or you get a couple hours a day. So nobody pulls bikes at this point to start them. So which is great. So I'll go to SEMA, I'll do my thing there, and then I'll come back and I'll start planning my winter schedule. So when I get back from SEMA, I have very little to do, so I can get my butt caught up on these panels and everything else, and some stuff around the house. There is no bid on this one. There's no bid on this one because it was a two-parter, so but for those who came in late, this vector is available on McKayFineArt.com. And it has a bunch of other ones. It has the Scarecrow and the other Pumpkin Reaper. So see how just nice, how fast that comes together? London came in with a force of 200. Alright, I need to get paper. Don't have Kaylee here. And I just dropped a micron. That's the sound of a micron hitting the floor. For those who have never heard that, let's see if it bent the needle. The way it's sitting, it might have. Nope. We are good to go. Alright, everyone complains on how finicky these things are. I can tell you right now, I've dropped this micron Takumi and my other micron quite a few times, and it is done extremely well. Yep, I got up, the hose got wrapped around my foot, but it is safe, it is safe, it is safe. Alright, what was I doing? Doing that, spilling paint. This is the problem when you're doing it all yourself. Alright. I need to get one of those technical difficulty screens that can pop up when this happens. Okay. Coming back. Alright. And I just... You guys gotta hear me scream because I dropped it again. The wheels are falling off. Yes. Oh, dude, I need to make a cartoon, or someone needs to make a cartoon, and I'll trade with you, of the wheels falling off like an old, we interrupt this program, blah, 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 so I can put it on screen when stuff like this goes wrong. Black and white, old school, with like the old school TV alignment stuff. This is sounding more like how I paint. Well, this is how I paint. But just back at it. So what I was saying, so you see how nice this comes together. I can just do some core shadowing, do a little bit of detailing, and bam, this is already coming together. So like I was saying before, someone asked me what do I like to paint. It's not so much what I like to paint, it's when I like painting. This is where I like painting. Because I can just... The foundation is laid. Imagine it's a lot like people who build a house. I don't think many people enjoy, laying out, digging out the dirt, laying out the foundation frame. It's once you get everything, all the skeletal structure up, and you start doing all the detail and finish work is where stuff gets cool and fun. Now we need to do a 10-pen limited edition. Alright. And the cool thing at this point, and I've done this a lot, once you're done, if you know you're done with this color, if you work color by color, you can just start adding like dark green or tone to the actual cup and start darkening it as you go. Alright, let's zoom out here. Oops. Let's get to these hands. So the hands, I'm going to do a lot more green, but I'm going to do some of the initial in, you know what? I'm going to hold that thought. Because what I want to do is I want to get some of this cloak in. So what I've done for my darkest color, which looks like, this looks black, but if you look at it, it's got a green, it's kind of got a green tint to it. And that's going to be used around for the cloak and everything like that. So this way I want to get kind of the drop shadow set off the hand. And I can just kind of get this shaped out. It's going to be really dark under here, so I can almost go black and just start doing the robe. Like that. You can see it just instantly pops that up. So it's a little too opaque for freehanding. So I'm going to fix that. Why can't they make a rubber needle? Because then it wouldn't be good, man. I know what you're saying. And if I painted with my cap on, it wouldn't be as much of a problem, but I paint with the needle cap off. Just because that's how I've done it for so long, and I just like it. So that gets established. Now I think I should have here, but I'm going to thin this paint out a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I just dump my black out. I am going to add in some green Viridian, a little bit more. And I want to make the paint more transparent right now, but not ruin the body. And the best way to do that, without changing the characteristics of the paint, is using 4004 transparent base. So I'm going to cut this almost in half and then reduce it a little more. And this should be my detail black green color. Now, yeah, it does, because it's darkening everything up, so it's definitely going to change the contrast, and the camera's going to start picking it up different, just because of what the camera's receiving back. But it's all about contrast. So in the beginning of it, that was kind of the mid-tone stage, so there's little contrast. So I work kind of in the mid-grade and just kind of tone everything in, and that gives you the flexibility to stay really loose and paint loose by working in the mid-tones and kind of just getting all your areas set up and dialed in. Alright, so let's see how this works now. So this is that same color, but a little bit more reducer. Yeah, now it's getting nice. So now I can tone. It's very hard to see, but instead of going right to black, when I put like 2 passes, I get that 3 or 4 pass range, which is where I like my stuff to be. Okay, I like my paint to be like, when I'm doing detail, I want my paint to be around 3 or 4 coats till I get to like full coverage. Or I like this term that Daniel Powers used to use, like a fully capped color, meaning it's at the top of its cap, it's at the top of its opacity, meaning a 5th coat wouldn't do much. And by having that 4 coat range, you get to play a lot more with tone. You know, when I was doing t-shirts back in the day, you wanted it right out the gate black, you know, because you want to put all your outlines and then tone over them, and it was just easier. And because I did the orange and brown tones on that cloak, I can build softly, and in the middle I can leave that brown. If you look really close, you can kind of see how there's some still brown in there. You know, so now I can come off this hand like this, this finger. I can choose dagger strokes up. And that's all established. And I'm just using an Eclipse, and I get nice detail, nice broad tone. At this point, I want to loosen it up. Yeah, I could go back in with paper mask and stencils and like crisp out these edges, but I'd rather start loosening things up, and I can tighten things back up later if I want, when I bring the bright colors in. So anyone in the group coming to SEMA next week? I fly in on Monday, which is great. So I hate missing Halloween with my daughter here. It sucks because she loves Halloween, and as both of us do. And plus making her that cool costume that I'm not going to get to really see in its full, but there is something fun about Halloween in Vegas. The costumes that people wear are pretty outrageous. I tell you, I grew up next to Salem, Massachusetts, and as fun as Salem is, Vegas is just a different animal. I'll be over at Resort World this time. Which I've been there, I haven't stayed there. We kind of had our impromptu custom painter party there last year and kind of tried out that venue since there's no more Hard Rock. Yes, exactly, Mark. But they is a relative term, and not always so really good. Now, a great way to do this one, as opposed to starting out on a orange panel, is these were done on a black panel. So the black is already part of the cloak, so you reverse mask out of it. It's kind of the last thing you peel, which is great. It's a great way to do it. So this way takes a little bit more because you got to get the black, you got to work the black back into it, but it creates its own unique look as well. I'm a little off camera right now because I gotta get this in there without. Where did my templates go? Oh, there it is. Isn't there an opening dinner you go to? Yeah, so we do what's called the kickoff party. And it's changed a little bit over the years. COVID kind of messed with it, obviously, like anything else. So what it always was is the kickoff party has always started out as like the mini truck and lowrider kind of inductee and awards down at Hogs and Heifers. And that kind of grew into a kickoff that all the custom painters would come by. And then we started painting live there for charity. And it just kind of grew from there. So we're not doing the paint for charity right now just because COVID kind of messed it up and we got to kind of get it back on track. We can get some sponsors lined out. So, but it's still a great party. And what's great about it is it's not like a structured party where you need passes and events, and everyone just shows up. When I mean everyone, like everyone shows up. TV celebrities, painters, fun, just everyone kind of shows up, impromptu, just hangs out. And before we go to work at the show, and you know, try not to tear it up too much ahead of time. But yeah, it's a great time to see people. Because kind of once you go to the show a lot, or if you're there working, like a lot of us are, the show itself we don't get to see much, just because we're, you know, boo-hoo for us, who cares? But you know, we're in and out of different booths, we're with different companies, or we're running around the show doing different things. So, and if you've ever been to SEMA, you can't see. You're lucky to see half the show. It's so big. So you really got to pick your battles of where you want to be and who you want to see and what you want to accomplish while you're there. But when you're working for like a company, like I'll be doing, for those going who want to come by and hang out, I'll be mostly in and out of the Iwata and FBS booth, doing demonstrations, mini classes. Like you guys want to come by, I'm going to have mini projects we can do and make together. And you can come next to me and I'll show you how to do a panel and walk you through a mini lesson, and then you can take that home with you. So we're going to be doing that again this year. That seems to have gone pretty well for the past few years, so we're going to continue that. And so what we're going to do this year is I'll do, you know, vector and masking demonstrations over at FBS, and then once that's completed, I'll go over to Iwata and I'll paint with it. And those who want to can come over and do it, because nice thing for me this year is they're pretty much, those booths are next to each other this year, so I can just go from one to the other. No, it's not so much invite only at all, but you have to be in the automotive industry in some way or another to get your credentials. So if your industry, if you're a registered business that, you know, kind of works, can be construed as automotive related, or benefit from being at the show as a purchaser, you can apply and get your credentials. Like I had a buddy of mine he's a carpenter, but he builds garages, and he's always wanted to go. And I said, well, do you ever build garage cabinets and tool chests? And so he's like, yeah, I do that quite a bit. I said, then you go. So you go to SEMA and you look at, you know, the way tool crib setup, stuff like that. And that's what you're interested in, setting up, you know, garage tools and air systems. And so his credentials were fine, even though he's a carpenter. But you can't just walk in as a spectator, typically. Last year, because the attendance was low, because half the people in the world couldn't come, for the first time ever, on Friday afternoon, they did public access. They let the public come in for the show for the last half of the last day, or, you know, from like, the show goes from like 9 to 4 that day. I think they let spectators come in from like 10 or 11 to 4. So, yeah, once, this is the point of painting where I'm not liking, because I put all this black in, but I'm going to tone back over it, but it just looks kind of stark online, on screen. I think if I wasn't trying for time here, I would probably mask a little more, and I would probably spray a more brown, light green tone, and then slowly build this together. But we're going to do this a little faster by freehanding stuff and keeping it a little looser, which is fine. as you'll see once I start doing the rest. What do I got here? So this color has the more green tone to it. So now in here, yeah. So I'm going to use this green tone where things are more, more kind of wood and gnarled up. So I can do kind of a green and brown. And over the orange, it works really good to kind of give that that kind of spooky green look. And you know, you look at pumpkins and they always have that kind of mossy green look to it. That's kind of what I'm doing here. It tones out really cool. And I'm going to do the same thing for like the thorns and everything like that. So with this color, this is Verdian green mixed with black, okay? And I'm going to hit some browns over this and some whites later, and that's going to bring everything together. You know, it's always tough doing a multicolor piece like this on camera because there's a lot of color changes. There's a lot that happens. You try to cover as much as you can and talk about it. Because see how in that eye, if I use black here, this would die. It would just look really kind of cruddy pretty fast. So that's why I'm using this green, this greenish black. Everyone knows how I like to use like a purple black on most of my stuff. In this case, I'll be doing. You should break out shirt boards and do some shirts. Like, oh, that could be cool. I should do that one day. Go back to the roots. I can still do the whole script. There we go. So I want this eye, around this eye, to be, you know, more green than orange. But by doing the orange first, to kind of set that up. Now I tone in that green in the eye, and you can see how fast that goes from, you know, meh to really cool. Yeah, and the flames are just kind of subtle, but they'll tone in at the end. I just don't want them. I don't need to make them too crazy right now. But see how this green now really kind of, I can carve in the nose, but still let it stay bright inside, and it kind of makes a natural black out of that orange. It just starts to look really cool. Bring up a multi-tone here. Honey, thank you very much for the super chats. Thank you for letting me know last week that that was not showing up. I did not know that. And like I said, I'm working on setting up the membership stuff so you can do like, you know, members only chat and members only like icons and things. That's all coming down the road. Make it a little bit more fun. So I'll keep everyone posted on that. And I can kind of bring this green up and down from the mouth and up on the teeth. But because it does two things, it gives me darkness. It gives me darkness at the edge where it goes orange. And then give me 1 sec after. I'm going to try to zoom in a different camera a little bit, because this one looks a little grainy. So if you look here, so it gives you that kind of black around the orange, but it tweaks that green to looking a lot more just brilliant. It has just a better, just shades it and tones it. Now I get that kind of multi-tone look, which is going to set up really good for the final highlights in the end. Yeah, a little high tech, but it's more, I want to build this community up a little bit more. And obviously there is some financial support needed to make that happen. There's a lot of time that goes into this, as we've talked about before. These live feeds don't just happen in the 2 hours. They, you know, a couple hours beforehand. This one especially. So now with this kind of darker green in here, it's going to allow me to bring it out with that initial green and sharpen things out. And we'll probably add some candy greens and things like that in at the end. But just kind of toning things. Let's try to switch up and see how this looks. So you can see from that angle it's a little bit brighter. You can kind of see both. It just, you know, camera lighting changes everything. And I am not a master at setting up cameras, so I'm sure there's a lot I can do to improve lighting conditions and things like that, and that'll all come. We got 50 of you guys watching, thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe, share, and do all that fun stuff. Helps me, helps the channel, helps the algorithm. Helps me attract potential sponsors. Is that Michelle? Michelle's in the house. What's up, kid? And the cool thing is, this same green, I can come into the cloak over that black. and start toning that in too, and fill in some of the gaps, because it's just going to help darken this, and the overspray is not going to be an issue. Oops, I had to just fix that camera, sorry about that. Go back over here. There we go. I think when I zoom out, it gets a little bit brighter too. Yeah, see that? That's the sweet spot. That's more the color. Camera lighting. Yes, Michelle, see you in a few days. We're just talking about SEMA. Will this be your second one or your third? I'm not sure how many you've been to at this point. Alright, so I want to get kind of the hand tone in. Again, so we did the mid-tones, and now we're kind of doing the middle of that before the final. So now I'm going to do is we take this orange and tone him up some more. So I really want to get that kind of pumpkin-y orange. And then I really want to get this tone here. So if you look what I did here, you can tell I did a lot of orange. Okay? And then I went in the brown and green and detailed the final. And that's kind of what I'm going for here. Okay, with that hand. Let's see if I can just kind of scoot this camera over. Just a little bit. There we go. Third. Yep, Fisheye has a booth again this year. I'm going to try to mosey over there at some point and do a little work with good old Ken. So let's do the knuckles. And hands are just, lots of us struggle with hands. I struggle with hands. I think everyone I know struggles with hands. So let's do this. Bring my cutting board up here. And I'm gonna just separate out this hand in two sections so I can get a good shadow. This is great for you guys who have trouble freehanding. This will give you that little backup you need just to get things set. Ta-da. This panel is 12 inches by 18 inches, so it's a really good size panel. So now I got this section here. So now I can tone off this knuckle with the orange and come down to here. I can get this one in, and I can get here. I can do that knuckle. This is where being good at dagger strokes helps. So just defining the knuckles while I have the stencil there. See? Just like that. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, I've been doing it a few years. Not my first time under the knife. So for these kind of gnarled up hands, and I kind of modeled these after Don Bluth's style. I've always loved his style of painting and drawing. Don Bluth, for those who don't know, he was a former Disney animator, created Black Cauldron and a bunch of other really bitchin' content. And some of his stuff was deemed like too extreme, and this was before they had Tim Burton working there initially. And he eventually went on his own and did a bunch of his own movies in his own studio, and he created video games like Dragon's Lair. And just, the way he drew things was just really cool. I gotta get under here a little bit more defined. So in case I missed anything, I think we're still at a $200 bid. I don't think we've seen any more than that. If I have, just let me know if I missed anything. It's just me tonight. The girl is not here. Because someone decided when she had a half a day today and didn't have much to do, to wait till the evening to do her homework instead of just getting it done. Cool, see, it just starts coming together. Well, Disney didn't have anything to do with Dragon's Lair, other than he was long since fired when he did Dragon's Lair, the game. He was no longer there. I don't know if... So he did Anastasia, might have been his last movie with them. I forget which one his last one. And then there was Fern Gully. I think Fern Gully was after. But yeah, Don Bluth just had a just a killer style of drawing. I got a couple of videos of his, like how to draw videos. It's just, he's got a really cool, such a loose technique. It's outstanding to watch. Okay, that's hand number one. I'm going to go to the other one so it matches. We can zoom out here. See, now it's starting to, now that you see the backdrop, starting to block out that shading. And everything's starting to kind of flow together. This is the hand we're working on now. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't think anything came through, but I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. So loose dagger strokes. And this obviously, again, if you're not comfortable freehanding, this is where you can cut your temple up like I did on this side and kind of tone things. Gary, this is 12 by 18. So this is usually the biggest I can ever really do on a feed. I have to readjust a lot to do anything bigger. A lot of the cameras would have to move and looking at the backboard. Oh, the size, yeah. Yeah, this is this is like a 19-inch wide easel. The TNT was larger. Yeah, the TNT was, I want to say almost 20, 21 inches. That, yeah, I moved the cameras around to make that conform and fit. And I'm not sure if you hear, I was saying to all my patient people that I got everything in clear, just haven't finished buffing and getting everything shipped out because it's been so darn busy. And I really apologize to everyone who's supported and being patient. I'm going to look around here and see if I can find some goodies to kind of add in. Actually, I should have my cousin make up some things. Oh, for those who saw, like, this was like one of the skulls my cousin made, which is handmade by Tammy on Facebook. So it's a really cool skull, and it's really bitchin'. It's really cool lit up. Like, I actually think putting like a electric tea light in here would look really cool because it's transparent. You can see through it. I wonder if I can do it. Yeah, it's not really going to show well on camera here, but yeah, you can see through it. It's really, really cool. Okay. So if you put a light inside, you can see through it. These are really cool. Yes, I think a lot of people would say it does. Carl. Yeah, see, it's just starting to come together. I love that tone. Now, what do I have next here? Let's get some green. I'd like to do something with a little brown tone here. Here we go. So now we got some brown tone. This is a little bit of burnt umber and dark sienna, I think it was. I'm thinking this will be good to final tone some of the wooden structures like this, I think. Nah, over the orange it just goes right to that color. Yeah, that's too strong. We're just gonna go right to this, the Viridian green here. We have the smallest painter in the world here. Now we need someone who does the largest paintings. Well, I've done some decently large paintings. I wouldn't say the largest. But a 90-foot train is up there. A real Tyrannosaurus Rex in the Museum of Natural History is pretty big. 60-foot tow truck. 60-foot record me and Rhino did. Yeah, that's what's fun about this piece. And it's challenging because there are a lot of hues. So there's a lot to mess around with. What I do with the fingers. The more detail, because Yeah, yeah. Some of the when you do some of these big projects, man, it's. But you know what's fun about the big projects? Some of the details can be like spray gun strokes, you know, because you're looking from 50 feet away. A dagger stroke from an LPH 80 or even a 400 spray gun looks like a micron rat tail. You know, so it is pretty cool. So this is that green, the Viridian green, and I'm going to go in the darkest oranges, and I'm going to hit that with almost like a heavier core shadow, and let some of the overspray get out there, and maybe hit the edges. This is one of those ones when it's cleared, it just starts to look really, 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 really cool. Yeah. No, it's true though. Like a 10-inch rat tail looks like a micron stroke on a wall mural. So, you can have a lot of fun with that, and, it's really freeing to paint something that big. Yeah, I always wanted to do it, but I never did it. Really, to do graffiti work, like on a big wall, and I've done wall murals before, but it's not the same. But watching guys who I know who are like professional graffiti artists, and just seeing how they work with those cans and the detail they get with them, and it's really, even up close, it still looks detailed. It's really stunning. Yes, it's a big rat. Yeah, it just starts, that hand just starts coming out the more you work with it. You can use airless guns for big broad areas, but not really the same. But a lot of like big wall mural painters will block in their big shapes with airless. Like when we did the Northern Pacific Railroad dining car, that was done with a big airless, a lot of airless system. Except for like some of the stuff we did with a conventional gun, and some of it we did without it. But we'll show you guys a little trick here. I want to do a drop shadow that mimics this finger. So I'm just going to take this and move it down, just lightly hit it. Now it creates a drop shadow. But try to keep it soft, and we're going to soften it up so it kind of out of focuses. I'm going to come in here at the end with like white and that bright green and highlight everything, and that's going to be all the hot spots. Yeah. Yeah, you can with the airlesses, you can do a lot with them detail wise, depending on obviously the scale. But they're fun systems. I think the train, it's one of the only times I ever worked with a true airless system. I want to darken under this jaw and push that back a little more. So you can see how that works. See how that just pushed back? We are 1 hour in. See what difference an hour makes compared to where we started? I can tone under this eye and push this back a little bit more. And then I want to get the kind of roots here. So this root structure, I didn't mix it up, and I should have. So I was going to use the other brown, but I don't think it's going to work well. Probably should have used a dirt track brown with a little bit of black, and I could have got a nicer brown in here, because this brown's just not, it's looking really muddy, and I don't like it. So I'm going to leave that and go mostly greens up in here. Because that's going to come down, and it's going to go up to this guy here. Mark, have a good one. I will, thank you very much. I'm going to try to do some posting from SEMA. I even thought about maybe breaking out my old Mevo camera and see if my Mevo works. I think we're going to have to do some white highlighting on that. I'm going to tone you. We'll bring in the orange. Alright, let's get this hand worked out. Same thing over on this hand. This finger, this is actually the pinky, it comes down to here. It's almost going to be in silhouette. When I put the final fire in, it should frame that out quite nicely. And for the guys joining in late, make sure you guys can go check out the Pumpkin Reaper set, which is now available with Scarecrow and the other Pumpkin Reaper, Pumpkin King, 2 Scarecrow variants, and a whole bunch, actually 3 Scarecrow variants. So it's got a lot in this set. It's probably the biggest set I've done so far. So go to McKay Fine Art, link is in the description, and go check it out. We gotta get Leahy back to SEMA at some point. So remember, just core shadows across the hands. I'm going to set up for those final highlights and just kind of tone them out. Hey Jason, welcome. Thanks for popping in. Next year, awesome. Yeah, I'm going to try to catch up with Josh Sweeney. He's going to be there doing photographs again. Yeah, this year's going to be good. It's still not going to be SEMA the full Monty, but it's going to be better than last year. I still think it's going to take a few more years to ramp up to what it always was. But it'll be good. Good, I think. Get these teeth defined. Then I'm going to do something I don't often do, but you've seen me do it a little bit before. I'm going to do a little brush work at this mid-tone area. Fingerprint Gus, what's going on, Mean? How you doing? This file is up and ready to go. It is up and ready to go. So I kind of want to do some roots here. And I am not using crazy expensive Sable number whatever awesome brushes like Mr. Leahy. These are the cheapest cheap brushes you can get because I don't need it for detail. I'm just putting in a little bit of structure. And see if we can zoom in. You can see that a little better. Thanks, Jason. I want to get this kind of... I want to mainly use the brush for like the roots growing out because I want them to be very painterly looking. This is a technique I learned from Steve Leahy's favorite artist, best friend, who Steve looks up to the most. Who knew who I'm talking about? Thanks, man. How's it going? Not Bob frickin' Ross. He's one of them. But I'm talking automotive paint. Rod frickin' Fuchs. I'm just going to block out some of this stuff here and kind of make it look a little gnarly with a brush. And this is when the purists go, but it's not airbrush. It's not airbrush. And so you're not supposed to use the brush with an airbrush. I don't know whoever came up with that rule, but that's bull. Shit. Do whatever technique works. Because this is faster in a lot of respects. And it just gives a unique look. So I'm just going in and just kind of hitting some areas with it. And it gives you a sharper look on some things and that kind of that painterly feel. And then you can soften it with the airbrush. And don't be afraid to mix mediums, because this just adds so much to it. It just really does. Look, I'm going to put the threads here. Just looks so much better. It's faster. I'm going to add a couple here. Happy little threads. Happy little stitches. Alright? We all like happy little stitches. And that just gets that. Dun, dun. I think we need to go a little whiter now. See how that just kind of gives that graphic look, and we can put some like thorns in, maybe put a little bit on the teeth, a little bit on here. Right? Like I said, I could airbrush this stuff in there, but it would be a different look, and I like doing this and then going in with the airbrush and softening it. It just looks cool. Maybe I'll even add. This could get a little crazy. Let's get a little crazy. Can't see it. Oh, I was off to the side. Sorry, Michelle. Let me go back. The multicam. Now you can see it all. Now maybe I'll just use a little bit of the green. Let's see. Now see, the green doesn't do it for him. Doesn't really work as well. But if I add opaque white to the green. Let's see. Yeah, maybe this will go in at the end. Or here where it's dark, I can put a few things in. Maybe add a little bit on the knuckles. Yeah, we're going to airbrush. Let's go back to airbrushing. Where is my... Where's my green at? But if you see, that brushwork just gave it a little bit of something. And what I want to do now... Hey, Warlock, how you doing? I missed you there, sorry. It's just me in here tonight. Kaylee is doing homework. Doing homework. Now where is... I'm going to dump this brown because I gotta get the... Before I go with the opaque green again, I gotta get this fire to kind of push back. And I didn't... Well, I mixed up a green for that, then I spilt it all over my bench when my microns were falling. So, I am going to use a Viridian green mixture. And I might actually break out, oh, you know what would be cool? I know it would be cool. I love this color, it's great. Berlin Airbrush Frog Juice. Oh, Oh, dude, you gotta send me a link to that, or please share it here on the page and let people go check it out afterwards. Feel free. I, this year, will not be doing the full house decoration because I'll be at SEMA. But definitely send a link or message me afterwards with it. I'd love to see it. Okay, so now, there we go. So the fire, remember what Mike always said, loose to tight, dark to light. So now we're getting kind of the darker tones, and that is going to help set up the fire. The brighter fire on top. So you got to get it dark, a little darker. And this is cool because a little overspray is not going to hurt any of these areas. It's going to enhance them because the fire kind of glows everything. So as long as you're using a pretty clean, transparent, you can let that overspray work for you and start actually toning the piece together. Axis was 5,600 lights. Nice. You could also mix a candy here. The only reason I'm not doing a candy as much here is just because I'd have to go in a little bit too often with like a bleed check. So what I try to do is I try to use semi-transparent, transparent colors, and then I'll go at the very end with a candy, like after my final highlighting, and then I'll go in with a candy typically. But I find a lot of the Createx transparent colors, the semi-transparent colors, actually do almost the same job as a candy, especially for illustration. When I'm on automotive, I use candy more because of all pearls, metallics, and the candies will integrate with those and not cover them. When I'm doing solid colors like this, it's not really that necessary to do a candy. So I'm just going to tone the fire down. And tone that. I need my orange. Localized environmental lighting. Yes. And now I'm going to take my orange and I want to tone a little bit underneath this background fire and get it kind of a little darker tone, almost like a natural drop shadow. And we can actually put some almost smoke squiggles in it. Like we can have some of this definition in here and almost frame out the fire. And just kind of starts to set up the background really nicely. You go off the corner. For those interested, there's bids on this. We got one bid of 200 right now. Yeah, what if we hit a skull up in the corner here with the orange? Just pull off a happy little skull in the corner there. We'll detail him in. And then we'll light him up with some fire. Can't have a full Halloween piece without at least a regular skull involved. Kind of throwing everything at this, color-wise, and we'll see what sticks. We're at 9:30. We're in the home stretch, as you can see. Start kind of playing with the fire a little more. I'm working around 30, 35. Got the regulator. You can remember each airbrush changes because the CFM of each airbrush changes. So 30 at the regulator of a micro. What's coming out of the micron is a different pressure than what's coming out of an Eclipse. I usually operate between 35 and 40. Typical. That's my typical range. Because I added the skull, that is for 75. Awesome. What if I add another skull? What if we add... here we'll add... Let's add some skulls in the smoke here. That little guy. I kind of got skulls on the brain since that last bike. I counted the last one. Last one had, I think it was 40 or 42 skulls on that last one. On that bagger. A little smoky skull there. Do another one here. Partial skulls. This one's screaming. This one there. I'll do another one here. Just a little freestyle skull. This is gonna look cool coming out of here. Out of each. Now I gotta do every damn flame lick. Nose, eyes, eyes. You can do it once you get comfortable, like freehand and stuff. You can just do a lot. So, like, I'm just gonna keep adding some skulls in here. We're gonna tone this guy. I'm just gonna make this thing happen. All right, all right. I want you to do a painting in 4 hours. Why is my bike going to cost me that much? The reason I can do it in 4 hours is why it's going to cost that much. Well, this is already a 4-hour feed, because this is part 2. Yep, just like mechanics, you're not paying for the hours, you're paying for the years of experience. But like that skullbagger last week, you know, by the time it's all said and done, that was about 50 hours in that bike. By the time between design, layout, and all the skull work, and, you know, This skull's gonna have to have an eye. He's tired, sleepy, but he's still got one eye. Whose dumb idea was to put all these skulls in here? I think it was Steve's idea. I blame Steve. Skull there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna need to do another one right here. This one's gonna be a big screamer. So mouth, teeth, nose, eyes coming way down like this. Did I mention skull? You did. So I got a few skulls in there. Okay. Oh, I have all these airbrushes to clean now. It's the only problem with doing this much color in a feed. I got so much to clean up, but I don't want to. I don't want to clean it all up. I actually own that website. Just haven't figured out what I was going to do with it. Now we can take this bright. You know, I'm going to put this paint in an Eclipse. It's got a little bit more ability to move volume, paint volume. There we go. So, you know, this is why don't always rely on a micron or like super fine brushes, because you'll run into problems. I'm trying to use a thicker opaque paint without reducing it, because reducing it will make the body thinner. So a straight Eclipse 0.35 should be just what the doctor ordered. Higher pressure. I should be able to really get that paint. No reducer or little reducer. Higher pressure, and I can really get that. I'm going to switch to the main center cam here. Let's move this so you can see everything at once. Zoom out. Out, I said. Out, 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 out. There. So now I should be able to just make it a little loud. But now I can get the fire like to come off the fingertips. Yeah, go up here. Maybe a little too much. And now I can start doing the fire kind of freehand tone. If you can't hear the air, you ain't blasting. Yep. Come on. Behave. Fingertips highlighted, like the fire's blowing off that. Yeah, it just adds a little bit more. What I'm honestly going to do, I'm going to take probably some pure white or almost yellow and do some brighter spots, and then we'll just candy over some of this. And a job like this, I would think is going to warrant, I'll probably do another hour or two in it after, and or I might clear it and then add some final details. Like I want to get a little bit of foreground fire in them. See how that just really helps sell the whole thing. We'll have it come out of this cloak here. So anyone got any killer plans for Halloween? Go. This is going to be a little yellowish white with some final highlights. Oh, working. I'll be working on drinks at Hogs and Heifers. in Vegas on Halloween. So I'm definitely going to do a video recording of a simpler version of this with less color. You know, and on a black panel, a lot of there's a lot of, because the background's so much darker, you can get this contrast pop a lot faster than an orange background. I just wanted to do something different so the details are the same. And then I'll definitely do one on the Scarecrow here by itself. This is just green tones. And it's a fast piece. It's really, really cool. I will record those in the future. And maybe what I'll do is I might just record those and make them available to whoever downloaded the projects. So if you do download the project, make sure you don't do it like anonymously so I don't know who you are. At least put an email on there and I'll be able to update you. Because a lot of people don't realize it. On those downloads, sometimes I update them, and when I update them, I'll email you that there's been a change and update to the file. Or sometimes I've added stuff to files. Yeah, it's funny. That looks really minty green. And it's really yellow in person. Have you ever done? No, you know, I've never done a Plague Doctor. That'd be bitchin'. That'd be fun to do. Alright, that'll be on the short list. Where's my cap? Final little details. And then I am going to pull a Bob Ross because what I will do is I will go in afterwards. Yeah, when this gets cleared, it's just going to freaking slam. It really, really will. Let's do a little detailing. Yeah, that could be cool, man. I think I'll do a Plague Doctor at some point. That'll be fun. So I just darken up this orange a little bit. I'm going to finish off this skull up here. And we're going to candy this and see how she looks. We can clear it. I'll do some additions then. Of course, that'll be when I get back from SEMA and get every other panel done. So there will most likely not be a live feed next week. I'm going to see if I can bring maybe just a tripod, my phone, and maybe just do something live from SEMA during the day. Obviously there won't be a Thursday night feed, just because of the time difference out there. So final bid on this right now is $275, unless I miss something. And we're going to start winding this thing down. I got some cleanup to do. Dude, look at this bench. Look at this bench. Oh, and no one saw the paint spill over here that I got to clean up. And if I lift this up, you'll see. Oh, no, I can't lift it up. There is my paintbrush. Just gonna use a little bit of opaque white and green mix. And again, we're gonna hit some final highlights on this guy. Just give that a little look. And then I'll airbrush shade some of that away. Just pop that out and give it some. I just want to make this look kind of wooded and distressed. I think this works better. I can add some thorns to it. Stitches. Get these teeth a little bit. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Thanks for popping in. Just a little couple white highlights there. These guys here, little roots wrapping around them. Throw him in stitches. Oh, and then I have to do this. Thanks, man. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for the bid. Unless someone's going to dethrone you, I believe this is yours. I'll give one final chance for a rebuttal bid, but that'll be it. This will be all she wrote. I'm going to do a little bit of along the just a little bit around there. Okay, it's looking quite cool. Tone these guys down, tone this out with some more brown. Here we go. Again, fun stage, just noodling around and adding stuff as you go, seeing what shakes out. I'll sign this thing. And we are going to call it a night and start cleaning up and packing up for Las Vegas. Which I can't believe it's that time already. I want to thank everyone for popping in and joining me. We're just gonna put the finishing touch on this. 2022. And actually, this could make some really cool additions here as well. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go around these guys. Cool, cool, cool. So I hope everyone enjoys this piece. I really encourage people to go download it, mess with it. They're really fun to paint. Yeah, they're just fun. Just good, clean fun. Yeah, I didn't like that. That is it, everyone. Thank you very much. It is 10 of 10 on Thursday night. Thank you for checking out another Airbrush Down Dirty Tricks. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. Don't forget those super chats. Keep an eye out for the memberships. We're going to be doing that soon. And go to McKayFineArt.com. Download this project or any other project. Watch the videos. Have fun. And have a great, happy, and safe Halloween, everyone. I will check in with you all from SEMA a couple times, definitely, if not a full feed. And then I will catch you the week after. Have a good one all. Great night. Peace.